The small velvet box felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds in Marcus Webb's jacket pocket as he stood frozen in the doorway of Brilliance and Company Jewelers. His 6-year-old daughter, Emma, tugged impatiently at his sleeve, completely unaware that her father had just locked eyes with the one person he never expected to see again, the woman who had walked out on them both 3 years ago without so much as a goodbye. Sarah. His ex-wife stood behind the glass counter, her auburn hair shorter than he remembered, wearing a simple black blazer with a name tag that read, Sales Associate. For a moment that stretched into eternity, neither of them moved. The cheerful tinkling of the door chime seemed to mock the gravity of the situation. Marcus felt his chest tighten, a familiar mix of anger, confusion, and something else he couldn't quite name flooding through him. Emma, mercifully distracted, had already wandered toward a display of glittering necklaces, her nose pressed against the glass like a kid at a candy store. Marcus. Sarah's voice was barely a whisper, her face pale as parchment. Her hand trembled as she gripped the edge of the counter. I didn't expect. Neither did I. His voice came out rougher than intended. He cleared his throat, acutely aware that another couple was browsing rings just a few feet away, and a silver-haired salesman was observing them with polite curiosity. This wasn't the time or place for the confrontation that had played out in his head 1,000 times over the past 3 years. Sarah's eyes flickered to Emma, and something cracked in her carefully composed expression. Tears welled up instantly. She's gotten so big, she breathed, her voice breaking. Marcus felt a protective surge that made him want to grab Emma and leave immediately. This woman had abandoned them when Emma was just 3 years old, leaving nothing but a note on the kitchen table saying she couldn't do this anymore. He'd spent months trying to find her, hiring a private investigator, calling her family who claimed they hadn't heard from her either. Eventually, he'd stopped looking. He'd had to, for Emma's sake and his own sanity. He'd picked up the pieces, learned to braid hair through YouTube tutorials, mastered the art of princess birthday parties, and somehow became both mother and father to a little girl who deserved so much better than what life had dealt her. And now, here Sarah was, selling engagement rings in a mall jewelry store in suburban Connecticut. The irony wasn't lost on him. "Daddy, can I see the princess crown necklace?" Emma called out, blissfully unaware of the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. "In a minute, sweetheart," Marcus managed, forcing his feet to move forward. He had come here for a reason. Jennifer, kind, patient Jennifer who had slowly won both his and Emma's hearts over the past year, deserved that engagement ring. He wasn't going to let the ghost of his past ruin his future. Sarah wiped quickly at her eyes and straightened her shoulders, slipping into what Marcus recognized as her professional mode. "How can I help you today?" The formal words sounded absurd given their history, but he understood the necessity of the pretense. "I need an engagement ring," he said quietly, watching her flinch as if he'd struck her. "Classic design. Nothing too flashy. She's a kindergarten teacher. She likes simple, meaningful things." The pause that followed was excruciating. Sarah's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly, but she nodded and pulled out a tray of rings with practiced efficiency. "These are our most popular solitaire designs," she said, her voice steadier now. "All certified diamonds, various cuts and settings." As she explained clarity and carats, Marcus found himself studying her. She looked tired, older than her 34 years. There were dark circles under her eyes that makeup couldn't quite hide, and her hands, the hands that used to paint watercolors on Sunday mornings, were rough and chapped. Whatever life she'd found after leaving them, it clearly hadn't been easy. "Daddy, who's that lady?" Emma had materialized at his side, looking up at Sarah with innocent curiosity. The world seemed to stop spinning. Marcus opened his mouth, but no words came out. How could he possibly explain? Sarah crouched down slowly, bringing herself to Emma's eye level, tears streaming freely down her face now. I'm an old friend of your daddy's," she whispered, her voice shaking. "And you are the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." Emma beamed at the compliment, completely unaware she was talking to the mother who had abandoned her. "Thank you. I like your sparkly things. Do you get to play with jewelry all day?" Sarah laughed, a broken, heartbreaking sound. "Sometimes. It's a pretty special job." Marcus gently placed his hand on Emma's shoulder. "Why don't you go look at the necklaces again, baby girl? I need to finish talking to the lady about grown-up stuff." Once Emma skipped away, Sarah stood abruptly, turning her back to him as she pressed her palms against the counter. Her shoulders shook with silent sobs. "I'm sorry," she choked out. "I'm so sorry, Marcus. You have no idea. You're right. I don't." The bitterness in his voice surprised even himself. "I don't know why you left. I don't know where you've been. I don't know why you didn't even try to contact us. Do you have any idea what you put us through?" She turned to face him, mascara streaking her cheeks. Every single day I hate myself for what I did." She took a shuddering breath. "I had severe postpartum depression, Marcus. It got worse and worse, and I was too ashamed to tell you. I felt like I was drowning, like I was a terrible mother, like Emma would be better off without me. I know that sounds insane now, but in that moment, I truly believed you both would be happier if I just disappeared." Marcus felt the anger drain from his body, replaced by a profound sadness. "You should have talked to me. We could have gotten you help. I know that now. I've been in therapy for 2 years. I've gotten medication. I've been working on myself, trying to become someone who might," she swallowed hard, "someone who might someday deserve to know her daughter again. I was going to reach out. I swear I was. I've written 100 letters I never sent." The raw honesty in her words cut through his defenses. He thought about Jennifer, about the second chance at happiness he'd found. About forgiveness and moving forward. About Emma growing up with a huge hole in her life story, always wondering about the mother who left. "I can't make any promises," he said slowly. "Emma is my priority. She comes first. Always." "As she should," Sarah said immediately. "I'm not asking for anything, Marcus. Seeing her today, seeing that she's healthy and happy and clearly so loved, that's more than I deserve." Marcus selected a simple platinum solitaire from the tray, a ring that reminded him of Jennifer's gentle strength. As Sarah rang up the purchase with trembling hands, he made a decision that surprised himself. "We go to Riverside Park most Saturday mornings," he heard himself say. Around 10, near the duck pond, Sarah's head snapped up, her eyes wide with disbelief and desperate hope. "Marcus, I'm not saying anything definite. But maybe Emma deserves to know her mother. The real you. Not the broken version who left, but the person you are now. If you're serious about being in her life, it has to be all in. No more disappearing. Can you promise me that?" "Yes," Sarah said without hesitation, fresh tears falling. "I swear on everything I have. I'll do whatever it takes. Therapy, supervised visits, whatever you need. I just want a chance to make things right." As Marcus pocketed the ring box and called Emma over to leave, his daughter waved enthusiastically at Sarah. "Bye, sparkly jewelry lady." Sarah waved back, her smile tremulous but genuine. "Goodbye, sweetheart. Maybe I'll see you again sometime." Walking out into the bright afternoon sunshine, Emma chattering happily about the pretty necklaces, Marcus felt the weight of his decision settle over him. He didn't know if he was making the right choice. He didn't know if Sarah would follow through or break his daughter's heart all over again. But he knew that forgiveness wasn't just about giving someone else a second chance, it was about freeing yourself from the prison of past hurts. He pulled out his phone and texted Jennifer, "Found the perfect ring. Can't wait to start our next chapter. Also, something unexpected happened today. Let's talk tonight." Her response came immediately, "Can't wait to hear all about it. Love you." As Emma slipped her small hand into his, Marcus looked down at his daughter's trusting smile and made a silent promise. Whatever happened with Sarah, whatever complicated road lay ahead, he would protect this little girl's heart with everything he had. And maybe, just maybe, there was enough love in the world for second chances, new beginnings, and the messy, beautiful work of rebuilding what had been broken. The ring in his pocket represented his future. But the woman behind the counter represented an opportunity for healing, not just for Sarah, but for all of them. And that, Marcus realized, was worth the risk.